Hi guys, it's Celia here, and today I am building a cottage style micro home. I really wanted to make this after having a look on Pinterest and seeing what kind of small homes they had over there, and I found some really cute inspiration for this, where I saw all these old vintage style kind of cottages that were kind of overgrown with plants, and like the house was a fairly simple shape. It's just a box with a couple roofs on it. It's a little bit different from the picture that I wanted to take it from, but I just really thought it was cute, and yeah, and so I really wanted to make it to kind of do something for our elder Sims, because they don't get much, and so this is what I wanted to do for some of my elder Sims that might enjoy living on their own and do some planting and gardening, and maybe they're a florist as well. I put a little table in there for that. But I also wanted to make it look like the plants have kind of grown over. There's a pond in there as well that I'm going to put in. And I'm using some debug objects like the little fence, like a wooden fence, just on the end of the lot to make it kind of look like it's been there for a while. You know, it's been used, it's been sitting there, but there's still someone that uses this cute little cottage and that lives there, and a home, or that's just a kind of micro home that I wanted to make personally, and I think it really turned out to be like I imagined it, if not better than what I first thought I could do when I was looking at the picture, because there are some limitations to what you can do in The Sims when you think of or like looking at real life pictures and you want to take inspiration from it. You can't always replicate it exactly like it looks in there, because or in the photo, because we do have some restrictions, and the same rules do not apply to how you build in The Sims. So I had to make the best out of it, but I do think it turned out to be pretty good. And I do spend quite a lot of time just putting out plants in the garden, really making it look more natural. I did some terrain painting, and I used the terrain tool and all that stuff just to make it look a lot more natural, a lot more like it was one with the place that it was in, which was Windenburg, by the way, and I thought it was really perfect because it's on this little part on a, I guess you can call it a little bit like, it's not an island, but it's a little space that goes out on the water and it's all by itself, and I thought that just fits so great with this build. And yeah, I really had an elder sim in mind when making this, someone that just loves nature. And here you can see I placed down that old fence from the debug menu, which I absolutely loved for this. I also do use a lot of plants from the debug menu, but it does take a lot of time to find plants and other objects in the debug menu using that cheat, because you can't use the eyedrop tool. If you do find something and it goes away from you, you kind of have to go all the way back and try to find the exact same thing, which I did a couple times and I did struggle with it, but I think I managed to cut out all the worst parts of me looking for things in there, because it did take a lot of time, and there's a lot of that looking for stuff that you don't see on here, but it really did take me a long time to find just the perfect little thing for it. So obviously there is no CC in this. I will upload it to the gallery so you can find it on there. And yeah, I'm just finishing the outside now. As you can see, I put a little pond in there. I'm putting some other decoration items and some more plants, just adjusting some stuff, and really just making it look more like it's been lived in, you know? Like it's not just one tiny little house on this grass patch, but it's actually very homey, and you can see that someone is taking care of it, and that's the kind of impression I wanted to make with it. But I really did love this kind of vintage style for it, and I think it really worked out great for this exact build. Although it's only for one sim, I did only place a single bed in there, but I do have some seating space if you or your sim would like to have some guests over, for example. But I do imagine a loner sim living here that likes to be on their own and be just one with nature and enjoys time just being in the garden or on their own, reading a book or whatever. And when I do these kind of builds, I kind of imagine what it would be like for me to be here or for someone to actually live in it. And I think that's kind of how I work with these kinds of builds. I think way too much about the details, so I do go a lot over and delete stuff and put stuff back in, and that's just how I do it. But I tried to make it a little bit shorter for you so you don't see all of my going back and forth, because I know it can get a little bit too much. I think it took me like 5 hours to build this, and obviously I always use a lot more time than that. But it was a really small build, and even if it was small, it actually took me quite a lot of time to find the exact right objects that I felt was fitting for this build. Now that we're on to the inside, I'm just trying to find a good placing for everything, seeing the layout of the house itself. Like, obviously it's pretty challenging because it's a micro home, but I do think I managed to put everything well in there. It's it has everything you need. I didn't remove anything, except I did not put a TV in there, although you could put a TV on the little bedside table if you wanted to, because I put some chairs on the other side. But I just thought it would be nice because it's like a vintage looking place, and it would just be nice to have that that feeling that they're not very depending on technology, because obviously I had an old sim in mind, and obviously they could have a little TV in there, and I did try to place one in there, I think, like a tiny one, but I ended up deleting it. I still put a little laptop on that table though, because I thought it would be nice to just have something to do, because when I did playtest this, I played with it for a while to see what my sims would do with it if they enjoyed being there, and I just noticed that they had nothing to do. I also tried placing a little bookcase in there, or one of those little bookends, but they couldn't get to it for some reason, so I had to delete it again, which meant that they really didn't have anything to do except from gardening, which I guess you can do, but after a while it might get very boring. At least in my eyes it would be. Sometimes you just want to sit back and relax and do something else. So yeah, I did place that in there, mainly for work purposes or anything like that, or just some entertainment. And I guess you could put a bookcase back in there, but I couldn't find a space for it no matter where I put it, so I decided to delete it again. I do also incorporate some colour in here. You can't see it yet, except I just switched that chair to like a green colour, and I do put the little wardrobe or whatever you want to call it in there, which is also green, which fits very well with with a little chair, because I wanted to make it look kind of quirky and not very boring. I wanted to put some colour in there because the whole build is pretty bland. It's like it has just a grey blue outside, and the wallpaper inside is like pretty bland as well. So I wanted to put some color in the actual furniture, like the chairs and other things. And I do go a lot back and forth here with what to place. I removed the couch, I just put 2 chairs in there because I thought that would be better to have 2 separate seating options or whatever. And then I start decorating it, which was a challenge in itself because I didn't have much space, so I had to find space for everything, and of course not everything wants to go on the shelves, so that was also a bit of a challenge for me. I'm not into drinking, that's just wasting time. I'd rather be spending it on working out. Also, this is my first speed building channel. I am new here, so be nice to me please, I'm not used to this. I might seem a little bit weird now, I don't know, I'm not used to talking or anything. But yeah, if you want to know something about me, I am from Norway. I currently live in the UK, I study here, I study photography. I guess I've always been a bit creative, so that's a part of why I just love building in The Sims. I also do play in The Sims, like I don't just build, I will probably also do some other types of videos on this channel, but I do also apologize for my very weird accent. I know it can be a little bit weird at times. Sometimes my Norwegian just comes through and it's not, it doesn't sound very good, but I hope I'm easy to understand at least. Because it's not my first language, so I know that can be a little bit annoying maybe. But yeah, that's just a few facts about me. If we go back to the build here, you can see that I put some little cracks in there, some little details like that, just to make it feel more worn and more used over time and not like a new place. I really like that look and feel of it, using some like rustic items, some that looks a bit more worn out or worn. And I did also did my best with this tiny little bathroom. I didn't really have, like, there wasn't a lot of space to use, so there was a limited amount of how much I could actually put in the bathroom, but I did the best with the space that I had. I also do not have all the packs for The Sims, by the way. I have all the expansion packs, I have almost all of the game packs, but I do not have all the stuff packs. I just bought the Jungle Adventure game pack because I just thought I usually go more for the items in the stuff packs and the game packs now. I don't know why, but I just love building so much, so I try to look for new good objects to use in my builds, and that really, I used a few of the Jungle Adventure objects in this because they have a lot of the rustic looking furniture, and so I really thought that was fitting for this. I also put this florist table in the back, which I thought was very fitting for this, because I thought if you love gardening, maybe you also want to like make flowers and use those plants or the flowers that you grow yourself. And I thought it would just be like an fun extra way to do some skill building, you know. And in the end here, I do go back outside because I do change my mind a lot, and I wanted it to be perfect. And because I didn't think that it was perfect when I was building it on the inside, I went back outside to finish it and put in some final touches outside to make it look like I wanted it to, and I think it really turned out great. As I said, it has been play tested, so everything works just fine, and I think I'm gonna jump into the screenshots now, and I really hope you like this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Remember to look for my videos in the future, because I will be posting more. And with that, I hope you have a good day, wherever you are, and hopefully I will see you soon. Bye!